A coalition of lawmakers, environmentalists, and concerned citizens rallied today on Federal Hill. They're calling for a moratorium on the controversial drilling technique called fracking. 11 News I-Team reporter David Collins is following this issue. He joins us live from the newsroom with the very latest. David?
Well, Rod, they want a best and safe practices study done as required in the governor's safe drilling executive order. Advocates contend natural gas companies managed to kill legislation that would have provided funding to do that, as well as study fracking's impact on the environment, public health, and traffic.
Governor O'Malley, if you believe this is going to be good for the state of Maryland, come and drink our water. Not only does it not look appealing, it has things in it that will probably last a lifetime.
Craig Stevens is holding a jug of household water he says is contaminated by the fracking process in his Pennsylvania neighborhood. He's part of a coalition of citizens, environmentalists, and lawmakers who want studies done before fracking is allowed in Maryland.
It's critically important that we send a very strong message to the oil and gas industry that in the state of Maryland, our public policy is very clear. There will be no fracking in the state of Maryland until or unless we have robust scientific studies that show the environmental and public health impacts of this kind of activity.
Montgomery County Democrat Delegate Heather Mizeur will introduce legislation next year that prevents drilling until the study requirements of the governor's 2011 executive order are fulfilled. The order didn't have a funding source. A bill imposing a per-acre fee on natural gas companies to pay for one passed in the House, but died in a committee chaired by Senator Joan Carter Conway.
Why not? $150,000 in lobby money.
Advocates believe natural gas companies are trying to run out the clock on the governor's moratorium. A large swath of natural gas has been entombed in western Maryland for some 380 million years in a layer of rock called Marcellus Shale. Mining it involves horizontal drilling using blasts of water mixed with chemicals to fracture the shale and release the gas. Pennsylvania residents came to Maryland to warn people about their experience with fracking.
Many families have lost their access to clean water, fresh air, and are dealing with health problems.
Tourism-dependent Western Maryland fears fracking is an incompatible industry.
Are you going to want to come to Western Maryland and go on vacation or spend $1 million on a vacation home if you're going to wake up beside a gas plant someday, or a compressor station, or a gas drill?
Let's hit the pause button. Let's have a moratorium on fracking. Let's get this right if it can be done right, and then let's move forward from there.
Senator Joan Carter Conway says her committee didn't vote because they had a lot of pressing issues before them and simply ran out of time. She considers herself one of the biggest environmentalists in the General Assembly and calls claims that lobbyists influenced her fictitious and insulting, and urges Delegate Mizeur to get her story straight. Meanwhile, the governor's commission on fracking has found funding to continue working on best practices and will make a recommendation by August 2014. Authorities say they're still working with other state agencies to come up with funding to address fracking's impact on the environment and public health. Reporting live from the newsroom, David Collins, WBAL TV 11 News.